Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a story for you here today titled 30 plus year old woman instantly regrets divorcing her wealthy husband, gets humbled immediately. Okay, so this is a story where, like many modern women, she hits 30 plus years of age and she thinks to herself, you know what? I'm missing out. I didn't hook up with enough guys before I got married. I didn't taste enough chads, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ruin my marriage. Kids be damned if they have them, right? I'm going to ruin my marriage so that I can go out there and return to the streets because you know what? I should be able to steal his money on the way out. Well, let's see how this one played out for this particular woman. Guys, don't forget to like the video on your way in. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new here, and let's take a look at this particular story. So this guy says, I'm a 36-year-old man and my ex-wife is 34. We were married for 7 years before she decided that she was, quote unquote, ready for the next chapter without me. I love how the women always phrase it like it's on, it's some sort of spiritual journey that they're going on, okay? He says, our life was well set up. I worked in finance and had built a strong income stream over the years. By the time I was 35, I was earning in the low seven figures annually. So he was doing really well for himself. He says, I kept things low key. I had an older car. I had a quiet house, no showboating. Most of my money went towards investments, our home, and travel. So this guy was the typical high earning, responsible man, the family man, invest, buy the home, and travel, and probably spend it on the wife as well. Let's be honest, right? This wife gets to live a very comfortable life. He says she didn't do much. She didn't work much, a few part-time jobs over the years, but she mostly filled her time with social outings, yoga, and hobbies. That was fine by me. I wanted her to enjoy life and never made her feel pressured to earn. Isn't this funny, guys? How, you could never switch the genders here, right? Like, imagine a woman making all the money and then the husband just spent time goofing off, doing whatever, hanging with friends. Like, women would not put up with that on a long-term time frame, okay? But men, we as dudes, we don't particularly care. A lot of guys would rather see their wife happy. They would rather see their wife not stressing, that sort of a thing. I always just find this super funny, guys, how this will not go the other way around. You know what I mean? Like 1 in a million type situation, okay? But this guy, he goes out there, he works hard. The wife has to do nothing. She literally has to do nothing. She can spend her whole time goofing off, doing whatever. They don't even have kids. So this woman's out here doing yoga and crap, okay? Very comfortable life that a lot of women would love to have. A lot of women would love to be in this situation, man, right? But instead, they got lied to by womanism and they're out here having to work as a barista for 35 years. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, let's continue. He says, in our 6th year of marriage, she began to act different, more withdrawn, always using the phone, and constantly bringing up how she needed more excitement. She started using phrases like, I want to explore more of who I really am, and I feel like I missed out on being young. So when your wife starts saying crap like this, you should probably just boot her out immediately. She's already cheating by the time she says stuff like this, by the way, guys. Like, I'm very cynical about these situations. I have seen this happen 1,000 times. By the time your wife starts to say crap like this, it's already gone. Boot her out, or at the very least, stamp it out immediately and say, hey, listen, if you want to explore who you really are, there's the door. Get out. And when she goes, oh, I was just kidding, you sit there and say, you weren't. But, okay, that's fine. But if you bring it up again, I'm divorcing your ass, right? Like, if you want to leave, I absolutely despise these stories, man, where women use like leaving as some sort of a power move. If you're the dude, you should sit there and say, okay, leave then. Goodbye. There's the door. And then she won't take it, ironically enough. Women in a nutshell, guys. Anyway, he says, we didn't have kids, something she asked to postpone until she was ready. How old is this woman again? 34. What do you mean postpone having? You're not going to be able to have kids in a year, my man. Postpone kids at 34? What is this woman smoking? So when she said she wanted a divorce, it was not messy. She claimed she didn't feel fulfilled anymore and needed to experience life without limitations. I didn't fight it. If someone wants to leave, I won't beg them to stay. Good man. He says she moved into a city apartment that she could barely afford on her own. Intelligent. I signed the divorce papers without a single argument. I let her keep the car and gave her a generous slice of the savings. There wasn't cheating, no blow-up argument, just a woman who thought she could do better. She told me she wanted to meet men who lived spontaneously and weren't so structured. I let her go and I kept moving forward. I could make a lot of comments about this woman's intelligence and, you know, interest in men, as it were, but I'm just going to leave that and focus on this savings thing. Guys, I don't think that these women deserve crap. You know, this dude is out here making millions of dollars, I believe, right? And what has the woman been doing the entire time? Yoga? Like, why even give her a generous slice of the savings? You know, the fact that women can walk away with anything a man owns is so disgusting to me, guys. It is absolutely disgusting. Like, why the dudes will never get anything from the woman, by the way. You know, like the women will never be upheld to their traditional standard. Like, you're not going to see the women be required to continue to cook for you after you guys divorce, but you're still required to give her money. Very, very funny how that works. And people always say, oh, you know, but if the woman had more money, then she would be the one required to pay. Yeah, women don't have long-term relationships typically with men who earn less than them. They don't. Women aren't out here marrying McDonald's workers, my man. Anyway, also, she was probably cheating. He says, I kept building, my career reached new heights, and I traveled more. I spent months working remotely across Europe and Asia. I reconnected with some friends and focused on my health. Eventually, I met somebody new, a 28-year-old architect. Oh, that's going to piss off the ex-wife. A younger woman. She was driven, balanced, and emotionally grounded. We connected naturally, no drama, no games. Excellent. 9 months after the divorce, I got a message from my ex. Just a casual, hey, how have you been? I knew exactly what it meant. I replied politely, but I did not engage much. She started messaging more frequently, asked about my job, my travels, and whether I was seeing anyone. Soon the messages turned nostalgic. I'm just going to skip this part. I don't want to hear these women being desperate. Anyway, I learned from a mutual friend that she had tried dating again, but the men she chased weren't what she expected. One asked her to split the bill on the first date, another flaked after sleeping with her once, a third was living with his parents. I find that so funny. You know, it's like the women will always be like, yeah, you know what, I want to go out there and explore my options. And then, like, this is their options, you know, a guy who wants to split the bill. And make no mistake, guys, like, women will complain, oh, we want equality, you know what I mean? Like, I just want equal treatment, okay? But the moment you offer to split a bill with them, they will lose their marbles, man. Because they don't want equal treatment, they want preferential treatment, right? I find it funny. This woman went from having her life completely taken care of, by the way, by a millionaire dude, and now she's having to split bills on first dates with dudes. That is so funny. That is absolutely hilarious. Anyway, eventually she asked if I'd meet her for dinner just to catch up. I declined. Ooh. I told her I was in a relationship and wished her the best. She didn't take it well. She claimed I'd changed and accused me of being cold, but I wasn't angry. I was just done. She made her choice. I simply didn't let her backtrack. Okay, he says, she's now working retail again, living with a roommate, and posting sad quotes on Instagram. Meanwhile, I'm building a future with somebody who sees my value without needing to lose it first. She thought the world would line up to offer her better. What she found instead was that men like me were not waiting around, and the ones who aren't what she imagined. Excellent story, guys. I love to see crap like this. I really do. You know, it warms my cold, deceased soul. Absolutely hilarious. Love it. We're going to be leaving today's episode there, guys. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.